Hello, my name is Yusuf Walid Hilal, and today I will be talking about the use of plastics and polymers in manufacturing. Over the years, people have started to follow the new eco-friendly trend and start neglecting the less essential plastics and metals, such as a straw, a spoon, plate. Some plastic manufacturers have been negatively impacted from this stand against multinational companies that produce plastics or plastic waste, meaning that uh, plastic manufacturers have started to lose money and started to close because of the replacement of the less essential items. Plastics are a part of our everyday lives. We see them everywhere. Our rubbish bins, our toothbrushes, the hair on the toothbrushes is made out of nylon plastics. Everything, it's almost impossible to neglect it. Some, like I said, some plastic products are nearly impossible to ignore. For example, toothbrushes and cleaning products. However, there are many replaceable plastic products, such as a straw. These days, people use paper straws instead of plastic straws. Paper use paper cups instead of plastic cups. They use paper plates, and they even use paper. They even use plates that can be recycled into eating material for turtles. So if it's thrown in the ocean, turtles can eat it. It's edible. Our first application, we will talk about an Egyptian company called HGS. We will start. What impact does this company have on our ecosystem? First, let me explain what this company is. HGS is a company that has been founded many years ago. It is the number one plastic manufacturer in Egypt that that manufactures plastic cleaning products and plastic home products. Uh, okay, what impact does this company have on our ecosystem? Firstly, HGS recycles all of the plastic waste, meaning that no no plastic is thrown out of the company, meaning that all the oceans are going to be clear of plastics and less I mean, plastics and unused items. However, it does impact it in a bad way where it has emissions, carbon emissions from all the machines that they use. Uh, but people usually see it as an advantage to cleaning the streets because they also buy plastic waste to make them into other waste. The use of polypropylene, polyethylene, and copolymer in manufacturing. They take away chemicals. Well, they're not really chemicals; they're raw materials, but they're made out of harmful chemicals. Uh, I see it as a point where people could really look at it, where you could use the plastic, you could use the polypropylene, polyethylene, and copolymer in a bad way, where you can manufacture non-plastics, but things that are not useful. However, they are used in useful products. For example, the squeegee and the brush that I showed you in this PowerPoint. And does it recycle? Yes, it recycles everything. No waste comes out of this company. No plastic waste comes out of this company. Even the metal waste, even the paper wastes, they find a way to recycle it over and over and over again. Our second application, we will be talking about car manufacturing companies who change some components from metallic to plastic. I mean, is this safe? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. People usually like lightweight cars. Some people like lightweighted cars, and some people like heavyweighted cars. People who race cars know that the lightweight cars are most efficient. People who are looking for a family car know that a heavyweight car is better for them. However, it is safe to use plastics instead of metals in cars. However, not in all components. You cannot replace the base of a car with plastic. However, but you can replace the sunroof. The You can replace the dashboard. You can replace a lot of things with plastic because they're not really essential to the car. However, the engine, the base of the engine, everything is usually useful and not replaceable. What are my experience? Sorry for the M right there. What are my experience with plastic components in cars? I've honestly found that in plastic in cars, they aren't for luxury cars. They aren't for everyday cars. They're for no, sorry, not for everyday cars. They're not for cars that you want to impress people with. They're for everyday cars, economical cars, cars that usually go on everyday meetings, like work cars, everything. However, not for luxury cars like a Ferrari or Bugatti. However, it could be useful for a Chevrolet Optra, Chevrolet Aveo, like all of these things. Benefits of using plastics and polymers in manufacturing. Versatility. Versatility means that it's easily manufactured and it could be shaped into different ways. Meaning that it's easy for plastic manufacturing companies to make different shapes out of plastics, to melt plastics, to use them in different ways. Lightweight is a very good benefit because it reduces the weight on the world. As we said, the ecosystem, it affects it hugely. Plastics have a long lifespan, meaning that if you buy a plastic brush today, the brush itself would stay with you for almost 5 years without needing to change it. However, of course, the hair of the plastic, which is called nylon, it does tend to get into a bad shape. Therefore, people usually replace it a lot. However, for cars, you should not replace it like for forever. For plastic spoons and stuff, you can still use it over and over again. However, it's unsanitary. And it's an electric and thermal insulator, meaning that you can use it in cars. So if there's a shock in the engine or the electricity inside the car, you would not feel anything because plastic is a very good insulator. If there is lightning, your car is made out of plastic, has a plastic roof, you would feel safe when you're inside it because you would not feel anything because it's an electric and thermal insulator. It is resistant to corrosion, meaning that it will not corrode, it will be safe for many years, and it can be used over and over again. Cheap and available, meaning less time for manufacturing. If you are waiting for a car to come and you need it straight away, and the car is mostly made out of plastic, then you should know that it would not take a long time for manufacturing because it is cheap and it is available everywhere. Drawbacks. Malleable. Malleable could be a drawback and a benefit. However, it is more of a drawback because it could change shape, and as I said, changing shape isn't very useful for, as I said, brushes, toothbrushes, like all of these items. They're not very useful for these. Therefore, malleable is on the verge of between a drawback and a benefit. Plastic comes from non-renewable sources, meaning that one day the plastic industries will stop because they could not produce plastics because they won't have any polypropylene, polyethylene, copolymer, and all these raw materials used in plastic because they come from non-renewable sources. It is hard to paint because of poor bonding properties, meaning that if you do have a car that it's made out of plastic, mostly made out of plastic, you would have a hard time giving it a paint job because due to the poor bonding properties it has. It can easily melt. If you have a roof that is made out of plastic, a car roof, then you wouldn't feel safe in a in a in a in a in a in a car. You wouldn't feel safe where there is a lot of sun. Mostly in Egypt, that there's sun every day, winter, summer. Therefore, it wouldn't be very useful to have a plastic roof. Conclusion. Environmentally, we should try our best to neglect it and look for other alternatives, such as the straw, such as the plates, spoons, everything that we could replace with paper or metal or reusable metal should be we should try to do that. Manufacturing wise, we should definitely continue manufacturing plastics because plastics are very 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 efficient, and plastics are very useful. Even though they have drawbacks, they are very useful. We should also try to use it more efficiently. We should also study the recycling of waste into energy. Now, this is something that Egypt have been doing, and we should try to look into it more and try to study how we can turn recycling into like waste into energy. Thank you. عشان تخش عليا يا عمر عشان ما تلخبطنيش.